The year is 1225. Darkness chokes the land. Fear is a constant companion. Villages huddle, isolated and afraid. The harvest is meager. Children cry. People despair. For generations, they have known only hardship. Raiders plague the roads. Sickness stalks the land. Hope is a fading memory. But even in the darkest night, a single star can pierce the gloom. A flicker of defiance, a whisper of change begins to stir in the hearts of the desperate. Word travelled slowly, carried on the wind across the desolate plains. Whispers of a woman, strong and serene. Her name was Eleanor. No one knew her origins. Some said she came from the distant mountains, others that she emerged from the heart of the forest. Wherever she went, hope followed. She spoke of courage, of unity, of a future free from fear. Her words resonated with a power that belied her simple appearance. People listened, hearts stirred. Elena was not a warrior, not in the traditional sense. She carried no sword, wore no armor. Her strength lay in her spirit, her unwavering belief in the potential of her people. Eleanor arrived in a village teetering on the brink. Its people were resigned to their fate. They had seen too much suffering, endured too much loss, but Eleanor saw something different. She saw their resilience, their hidden strength. She spoke to them not of despair but of hope. She reminded them of their shared history, their ancestors who had faced challenges just as daunting. She ignited a spark of defiance in their hearts, a belief that they could rise above their circumstances. Her words were not empty promises. Elena offered them a path, a way forward. She spoke of unity, of working together to rebuild their lives. She taught them new ways to farm, to defend themselves, to govern themselves with fairness and compassion. "We are not defined by our circumstances," Eleanor declared, her voice ringing out across the village square. Her words carried a weight that seemed to lift the spirits of those who heard them. The villagers, who had been downtrodden and weary, felt a spark ignite within their hearts. "We are defined by our choices," she continued, her eyes scanning the faces of the crowd. Each person felt as though she was speaking directly to them, challenging them to look beyond their current struggles and see the potential for change. Her words were like a beacon in the darkness, cutting through the fear and despair that had shrouded them for so long. The village had been engulfed in a cloud of hopelessness, but Eleanor's voice pierced through, offering a glimmer of light. She spoke of the power of unity, of the strength they possessed within themselves. She reminded them that together they could overcome any obstacle. Her passion was contagious, and the villagers began to feel a sense of camaraderie and shared purpose. She challenged them to rise above their individual fears and work together for the common good. The idea of unity was not just a distant dream, but a tangible reality that they could achieve if they stood together. "We are not alone," she proclaimed. Her voice was steady and unwavering, a stark contrast to the uncertainty that had plagued the village for so long. "We have each other, and that is our greatest strength." The villagers began to realize that their true power lay in their unity and mutual support. They were not isolated individuals, but a community bound by shared experiences and collective strength. Elena's words resonated deep within the hearts of the villagers. They felt a renewed sense of hope and determination. Her speech was not just a call to action, but a reminder of their inherent worth and potential. A flicker of hope, long dormant, began to stir within them. They had been living in the shadows for so long that they had forgotten what it felt like to hope, to dream, and to believe in a better future. They had forgotten what it meant to have faith, to believe in something beyond their immediate suffering. Eleanor reminded them. Her words were a catalyst, igniting a fire within their souls and inspiring them to take action. The village, once shrouded in darkness, now glowed with the light of newfound hope and unity. Section 5. A village forged anew. Under Elena's guidance, the village slowly began to transform. People shed their despair like a shroud, embracing the spirit of unity and hard work. Fields, once barren, yielded bountiful harvests. Homes, once dilapidated, were rebuilt with care. Elena taught them to defend themselves, not with aggression, but with courage and strategic planning. She showed them the importance of education, of preserving their history and passing on their knowledge to future generations. The village, once on the verge of collapse, became a beacon of hope in the shadowed land. People from neighboring villages, drawn by the tales of their prosperity and resilience, flocked to learn from Elena's wisdom. Section 6, The Gift of Prosperity. Word of the village's transformation spread, reaching the ears of those who thrived on chaos and fear. Warlords, envious of the unity and prosperity Elena had inspired, saw her as a threat to their power. Eleanor, however, refused to be intimidated. She urged her people to stand firm, not through violence but through unwavering resolve. She reminded them that true strength lay not in might but in unity and compassion. Her teachings extended beyond the practical. She spoke of the importance of forgiveness, of breaking the cycle of hatred that had plagued the land for generations. She encouraged them to see the humanity even in their enemies, to seek understanding instead of vengeance. Section 7, Shadows on the Horizon. Despite her peaceful intentions, conflict became inevitable. The warlord, angered by Elena's defiance and the growing unity of the people, amassed a vast army to crush the village that dared to resist him. Fear, a familiar spectre, threatened to consume the villagers once more. They looked to Eleanor, their beacon of hope, for guidance. Her eyes, though filled with a deep sadness, remained resolute. She knew that this battle, if fought with swords and arrows alone, was one they could not win. But Eleanor understood that true victory lay not in physical dominance, but in the preservation of their spirit, their unity, their hope. Section 8, A Queen's Sacrifice. Elena, cloaked in white, stood before the approaching army. Her heart pounded, but her resolve was unshakable. She knew the weight of her actions, the gravity of the moment. The fate of her people rested on her shoulders. Unarmed, she faced the warlord, her gaze unwavering. The warlord, a towering figure clad in dark armor, sneered at her audacity. Yet Elena's eyes held a fire that even his cold heart could not ignore. She spoke not of surrender, but of peace. Her voice, though soft, carried the weight of truth and conviction. She recounted the horrors of war, the lives lost and the families torn apart. She painted a picture of a future where peace reigned supreme. She pleaded with him to see the futility of violence, the ephemeral nature of power. She spoke of a world where strength was measured not by the sword but by the heart. Her words were a beacon of hope in a world shrouded in darkness. Her words fell on deaf ears. The warlord, blinded by his ambition, could not see beyond his desire for conquest. His face remained stern, his eyes cold and unyielding. The warlord, blinded by his lust for power, ordered his army to attack. His voice boomed across the battlefield, a command that echoed with finality. The soldiers, trained to obey without question, began their charge. Yet, as the soldiers surged forward, something shifted. Doubt flickered in their eyes. They'd heard Elena's words, felt the sincerity in her plea. The seed of doubt had been planted, and it began to grow. Elena's unwavering courage, her unwavering belief in the power of peace, resonated through the ranks. The soldiers, once so sure of their mission, now found themselves questioning the very foundation of their cause. The warlord, enraged by his army's hesitation, charged at Elena himself, his sword raised high. His fury was palpable, a dark cloud that threatened to consume everything in its path. But before he could strike, a blinding light erupted from Eleanor, encompassing the battlefield. It was as if the very essence of her spirit had manifested, a radiant force that defied the darkness. The soldiers, the warlord, all were bathed in its brilliance. The light was a reminder of the power of hope, of the strength that lies in unity and peace. In that moment, the battlefield was transformed not by the clash of swords, but by the light of a queen's sacrifice. Section 9, Legacy Etched in Stone. When the light subsided, Elena was gone. The battlefield, once a cacophony of clashing swords and battle cries, fell eerily silent. The soldiers, both friend and foe, stood in stunned disbelief, their weapons hanging limply by their sides. The warlord and his army, forever changed by what they had witnessed, retreated in disarray. Their spirits were broken, not by the might of an opposing force, but by the profound impact of Elena's sacrifice. They left the battlefield, their minds haunted by the image of the Queen of Souls. The legend of Elena, the Queen of Souls, was born. Her story spread like wildfire, carried by the winds of time. Bards and storytellers wove her tale into the fabric of history, ensuring that her legacy would never be forgotten. For centuries, her story was passed down through generations. Around hearths and campfires, elders recounted the tale of Elena's bravery and selflessness, inspiring young and old alike. Her legend became a beacon of hope in times of despair. She became a symbol of hope, a testament to the power of the human spirit to overcome even the darkest of times. Statues were erected in her honor, and her image became synonymous with resilience and unity. Then, just this year, archaeologists made an astonishing discovery: Elena's grave. Buried beneath layers of earth and history, her final resting place was unearthed, revealing secrets long thought lost to time. Inside, they found no jewels, no crown, only the simple garments of a commoner. It was a stark contrast to the grandeur of her legend, yet it spoke volumes about the true nature of her character. But on her tombstone, an inscription: "Here lies Elena, who taught us to find strength in unity and hope in our hearts." These words, etched in stone, captured the essence of her enduring legacy. Her true legacy, it seemed, was not one of royalty, but of unwavering spirit, a spirit that continues to inspire to this day. Eleanor's story reminds us that true greatness lies not in titles or riches, but in the strength of our convictions and the hope we carry within.